Looking good now. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, December 27th, 2022. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and on the inside of your home or business. And there you're getting all fuzzy again.
I know.
See, we'll get this figured. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. So give Brian a call today. The number's on the screen, 715-520-2271. Positive Tuesday is also brought to you in part by the Wisconsin Lakes team. It's still a great time to buy or sell a home, and when you do, we recommend our friends from the Lakes team. Anyone can say that they're an agent, but not everyone treats their clients as they would like to be treated. And that's what Aaron and Katie do. You can find out more by visiting them on their website at lakesteamwi.com. Also supporting the show are our friends at Industrial Safety. We all know that Industrial Safety sells and services practically everything that goes into a fire station and on a firefighter. But they also provide kitchen suppression system maintenance, inspections, and installs. You can find out more information about this service and to see a list of all of their available services, visit their website at industrialsafetystore.com. Fitzy, good morning.
Good morning. Blurry again. I don't know why.
We'll figure it out. It's a great way to end our last show of the year.
Yeah, a little fuzzy.
With more technical issues. We'll get it figured out. And you're on that's a different, you're kind of blurry look. Well, you are, but hold on, we'll brighten you up a little bit here. How about, there we go, a little brighter.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. We had it perfect. We commented when logged in, and now on the energies, but my picture at the bottom is really clear. It's super weird.
Well, I don't know. As long as we can hear you. Like, we should just put a picture of you up. And then you can just talk. Yeah. Hey, so how was your Christmas? How was your week?
Good. How was yours?
It was fantastic. It was my birthday.
It was your birthday?
Oh, yeah, right. So thank you for everyone for all the birthday wishes, of course.
Yep.
But a lot of time with family. That was awesome. What did you do?
That's exactly what I did. Nothing, and then hang out with family and ate a lot.
Yeah. Well, and
honestly,
Dirk, we figured out
blurry.
It's not the camera. So he's trying it as a laptop this time. It's not the camera. It's with his laptop right now. It's his internet speed isn't quite fast enough. And then the other one, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll come down there. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I got an IT department that's gonna catch heck after this.
Right. Yeah. What are you gonna do when you retire? It's like Dad when he retired, because he had the IT department basically right as well, and then he retires, and then like I became his IT department. Hey, how come this isn't working? And sync this with this. Like, what? I don't know. Jeepers.
I got 4 years left. I get sworn in on Friday for my next 4-year term. So,
all right,
you're stuck with me for another 4 years.
Yay!
Should we start the campaign now? 4 more years. 4 more years after Friday.
Well, every one of these shows is basically, campaigning.
If you don't like it, don't watch.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good morning, Amanda. So I thought you were going to say like what you did this last week was something about hockey, because I got some news that you might like, and Mike Schaefer might like as well. Where's I got to see my obviously with all the family together for Christmas, and my birthday was I got to see my grandkids. So they're down in Menominee where my oldest daughter lives, so I don't get to see them very often. Couple times, maybe 3 times a year or something, but I found out that she's in hockey, so check this out. Well, first of all, that's my daughter, my oldest daughter, Grace, her husband, Tanner, and those are my 2 grandkids. Bentley, who we call B, and then that's Baylor, who we call Buck, so it's B and Buck. But check this out. What? She's in hockey.
Ah, awesome.
She's 6 years old, and she's in hockey.
Sweet.
So now we'll have something to talk about. So every week.
Now we can.
So
maybe
now
they'll come to the lake and play, and you can come down and watch them. They must come to Spooner and play.
I don't know. I just found all this out. And she just lost a tooth, so I'm like, you totally look like a hockey player.
You get in a fight, tell people that.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. All right, so I have a few. What's that?
Schaefer's watching. She's been raised right.
Oh, boy. There he is. Hey, you had just said before the show started that you can't do a show next week, so the first show of the year, canceled. But we're not going to cancel it. I'll still do a show, and I was thinking maybe I should see if Schaefer or we haven't had Dave Wilson on in a while. So we'll see if anyone. What?
Dirk can be on. Talk about weather.
For half an hour? Actually, you know what? That'd be fine too. Dirk, if you want to come on the show next week, you are more than welcome to.
There you go. He's got his camera. He can do it from my office.
Exactly. He's got cameras.
He thinks his camera is better than my camera.
Probably. Good morning, Heather. So I have bowl predictions I want to get to at the very end of the show. So like at 8:55, 9 o'clock or so, right at the end, I want to get to the bowl. Tonight is the Badgers, and then get your take on the 2 college playoff bowls between TCU, Michigan, and Ohio State, Georgia this Saturday night. I know that doesn't really fit into our program, but I just want to do it anyway.
And we can do whatever we want.
Well, do whatever we want. You don't tell me. You don't own me.
We don't have much to talk about. There was no crime. There's only 7 people in the roster.
All right, so it looks like Dirk maybe come on. Oh, fantastic. You know, you just come on the screen, I'll put them on, and I'll just walk away for half hour. I'll come back, and we'll just wrap up the show.
You can talk about clouds and how you name a cloud and the stars. And
you don't name clouds individually. No, you don't. Right. Oh, by the way, look, I have a new. This is made out of. My mom got this for me for my birthday or Christmas. I don't know which one. This is made out of an actual bat.
Oh, sweet!
It's the barrel of a bat, and they make wooden ones too. Yeah, I know. So I got a Cubs one now.
There you go.
But I'm finding them very difficult to drink out.
Here we go.
I think it's meant for like a pretty. Right, more for display, not for actual use. Well, I do have a few things, so we always want to get to any press releases or articles. No press releases were sent out. I did have 3 articles that were in relation to Barron County. One, I think, was a good one, and I have my laptop up this time so I can go through it. The headline was, Cops Make Christmas Brighter for 464 Kids. By the way, that was your headline. That was. So thank you for that. Because I'm like, what's the headline here? I was talking to you about it. And you're like, just do Cops Make Christmas for however many kids. I'm like, that's perfect. Yeah. So you're killing it with the headlines.
One-liners? Yeah.
Birthday girl. Oh, my goodness, Renee. Oh, that's right. Today is her birthday, right? The 27th.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Miracle of Big Rock, I think they sent her like 6 tickets. So that's what I heard.
Oh,
remember when he was on and we were like, it's her birthday, to send her something. He had messaged back and said, sent 6 tickets. So
you got a few more days to go to that too. Miracle in Big Rock.
Yeah, no kidding. So our Cops Make Christmas Brighter for 464 Kids. So it was an article that I put up over the weekend, obviously with Christmas and law enforcement. In the article starts with law enforcement in Barron, Burnett, Rusk, and Washburn held their annual Shop with the Cop and Christmas for Kids programs. So I kind of put it all together into one. And I had a quote from you. You put in there, Shop with the Cop is the greatest night of the year for law enforcement. We get to put smiles on faces and interact with youth of the county in a fun situation. As always, as I always say, I'm not sure who has more fun and a bigger smile, the cops or the kids. And in total, I put kind of the total numbers in. There was range from anywhere from the 4 counties from $75 to $200 per kid. And the ones that were lower amount, they had more kids. And the ones that are higher amount, fewer kids. But it all averages out to about $140 a kid. And in total, the 4 counties, and granted, each county does their own thing. It's not like a collective thing. Right. But in total, over $65,000 of donations through fundraisers and people donating and businesses and individuals throughout the year between the 4 counties. $65,000. That's crazy. That's $16,000 in a per county if you kind of divided that all out. And 464 kids. I mean, seriously. That's amazing.
Awesome. That's a heck of a Christmas story. I thought that was really cool the way you did it. That was, we don't need to talk about crime on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. And that was just the right way to do it. It was a great headline. It was the best headline. But it was a good story is what I meant.
Who came up with that headline?
I mean, the headline made the story. But
it totally did, as they always do.
But, I appreciate all 4 sheriffs gave quotes, and it was really cool. I mean, it was just something that we really work hard at to do a good job. And it's not the cops doing a lot of the work. It's the stores, it's the Walmarts, it's the, Farm and Fleets, it's wherever, Walmart in Rusk County.
Did you get in cahoots with the car dealerships and have them donate as well?
Yeah, that's right. Now that I'm in, they probably sold so many cars in the last month because of that post.
Right.
And then go to them.
No kidding. We gotta start getting some kickbacks.
People telling people that either get a ticket or go buy a new car. Come on. We're going to get in trouble and we should move on.
Okay, fine. Still, that was awesome. I'm glad that you do it. And I did contact Sawyer in Polk County because I asked all 6, and but Sawyer doesn't do it right now. They do something else, I think, in the summer. Something else. Is that the Cops and Bobbers, I think? So it's not like anti-kids or anti, Christmas or whatever. They have something else. And Doug Morotek, the sheriff up there, had told me that so far there really hasn't been a lot of people asking about it. They may do one in the future. Brent Walk in Polk County kind of said the same thing. They do other things, and some cities do some things. They may look into it in the future. I don't know. But still, 464 kids, over $65,000 raised. And it's not just for the kids, right? Like you said, these are kids that can actually then take some of that money and get something for their parents. I mean, What an empowering feeling. It's not just for the kids in terms of what they get. It's what they're able to get others. And now that is awesome.
Yeah, and think about that. If they can hold out till Christmas morning and their mom got to unwrap this thing that she had no idea what it was, this kid got to buy it, wrap it, and then give it to his mom or her mom on Christmas Day. I mean, there's no better feeling. If you could literally package that smile up, that's what we should be talking about every day instead of the stuff we have to talk about.
I know. I love doing that story, too. I absolutely did. Because we don't get to do that stuff. And, I would do nothing but positive stories. A lot of people ask, how come you don't do more positive stories? First of all, I'm sure there are, but I'm not aware of some of them. I was aware of this one. But, I can't make them up. Maybe I should just make them all up. Like, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. I'm just going to make up positive stories.
That's right. I think you do a lot of positive stories. I just think we don't pay a lot of attention. You can put a post on Facebook about something good. The car dealership.
Nobody cares.
And it'll get 1,000 likes, but we put the OWI 5th that crashed into a pole.
Boom.
And that'll get 10,000 likes. I mean, it's just that's how the world works right now.
Yeah.
That's what sells headlines. Shop with a Cop does not sell newspapers or, whatever. But the headlines about crashing into a Christmas display will.
I think that story we only had, and I left it up on Friday as a feature story, then all weekend because it was Christmas and I wasn't going to post anything. I think we had maybe 1,500 people who read it. I just put a post up yesterday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, and as of this morning, that was about a Burnett County contractor was being charged, whatever. And that, as of this morning, had, I think, over 10,000 people who read it already. Yeah. And that's an insider story, too. So it's not one of the free, it's an insider story, and it's... because it's that. And it's just weird. But you're right. Yeah. We do a lot of those, but nobody really seems to care about them, which is weird. Speaking of crime and court stories.
They like to see it, but,
Yeah, but they don't read it. Right. Yeah, so speaking of, here's, so we did 2 more articles. So, there wasn't any press releases that you sent out, thankfully, because usually that's bad when you send them out, typically.
Right, exactly.
And these are both insider stories, but our one headline was Man Sentenced on Convictions of Theft from Employer. This was one that you actually did a press release on last year, I believe. Yeah. And his name is Larry, I think it's Title, or... Well, I'm not going to pronounce it otherwise. It's got to be Title. Yeah, and he ends up getting... so he's allegedly forged signatures... Skipping, read the story, but I think you had read it as well. I know we had talked about it because I was asked for a booking photo and there wasn't one. So ultimately, he gets withheld sentence, 2 years probation. He has to pay $3,700 to a victim, and that's $100 monthly increments starting in January. So he has 2 years of probation, and he can either choose 10 days in jail or 80 hours of community service to be finished by his probation is finished, which is 2 years. So I don't know how many hours, like a day, you'd have to actually do, like 10 minutes or something. I don't know.
10 minutes a week.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I mean, I would just do 10 days in jail, just get it over with. But maybe not, because you don't want to be in jail. I don't know. Anyway, do you have any thoughts or comments on that? Because that was originally from a press release from you a year ago. We followed up. He just got sentenced. 10 days in jail, probation. Or community service or 10 days in jail. What are your thoughts?
I have a couple of thoughts. One is I wish the victims could get their money back
sooner.
Before that. Sooner. Quicker. Whether that means the guy's got to go to the bank and take a loan out and then get a job to pay the bank back or however that works. But that's the only, in cases like this, I want the victims to get their money back. That's the biggest hurdle that sometimes law enforcement has to deal with is just people getting their money back, and that's what we want, is people to get their money back first. The other thing is I don't like that he's got to do the 80 hours of community service in the next 2 years. Well, that's 10 minutes a month for, it's not even an hour a month that, you can go walk a dog at the Humane Society, which is a good thing to do. Everybody should do that. But, that's where some of our community service gets done. And, I do like that you can, but it should be in a shorter time period is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, I don't know how to divide, 80 divided by, 104? Yeah, that would be 45 minutes a week for 2 years. I mean, right. Jeepers. But hey, that's fine. Whatever.
Other than that, no, we always try to get the victim's money back.
That's the big thing. And title has been ordered to pay restitution of $3,740 to the victim, but it's $100 a month.
Right.
And that's going to take, and maybe that's, I don't want to question that, I guess. But I agree with you. I wish just, if you took money, get the money back to them ASAP. And if not, then, start locking them up.
Right. And he may, and they don't, that's the minimum. They may pay it all back because their probation can end sooner. There's a lot of rules and regulations that go into something like that. Sure. So the sooner he pays it back, the more he can ask for an early release from probation, things like that. If he's met all of his standards and goals and whatever they have. So it's okay. It's fair. We'll go with that.
All right. We'll leave that one alone. So, and our last one was female driver sentenced for conviction stemming from single vehicle crash. That is Lisa Olson. I believe that also stemmed from a press release that you had sent. Right. If I recall, it was a single vehicle crash. Lisa was charged with 2 counts of Class F felony injury by use / vehicle control, substance, felony possession of meth, misdemeanor possession of THC, and drug paraphernalia. And she was sentenced. So this one's not confusing, but there's a couple of layers here. So this one alone, the Honorable James Babler accepted Lisa's plea and found her guilty. Judge Babler ordered a 5-year sentence with 2 years of initial confinement, followed by 3 years of extended supervision. However, if I wrote these notes down correctly, and it's in here as well, but I kind of shortened it here. So she will serve this sentence consecutive to a prison sentences or multiple she now has to serve because of her probation being revoked. So she had this charge, but she was actually already on probation. The earlier convictions were for felony homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. That was in June of 2011. And a felony vehicle operator elude officer in July of 2018. So there was 2 other ones. So in total, if I did my math right, which I like to think I did, with addition of her most recent sentence, she's going to have confinement in state prison for 13 and a half years to be followed by 15 years of extended supervision. So when you add that stuff on, because that first part didn't really seem like a whole lot to me. 2 years confinement, 3 years. But when you throw it on to the other stuff, what are your thoughts on that?
You shouldn't look at it that way. I mean, I'm hoping the judge didn't, and I don't know the details of it. And you can only convict the person of the sentence there. But you shouldn't look at, if I add 10, she's going to actually serve 25. Well, that's not. You got to serve each individual crime's got to serve its punishment. And if the total then of the 3 crimes is 100 years, it's 100 years, whatever the number is.
So you don't like the consecutive sentences. You like more of the what's the other one? The concurrent.
Concurrent, right? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of consecutive unless it's But in this case, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, there was obviously the homicide by vehicle in 11, the fleeing, now another one. Obviously, this lady can't drive or do alcohol and drive or whatever the 3 issues are. So no, we need to keep our roads safe, and the judges have to do that. And in this case, they did. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying, it should be. It could have been a little bit better, but
I kind of thought so too. But I think you and I are typically, probably. I think if you look at just about every single case, you and I think honestly a lot of our viewers as well would probably agree. I don't know why, but I think we usually will say, I would have liked to see more.
Right.
There's very few times Actually, I don't recall one time that you and I have said, I don't know, that seemed a little harsh. I don't think we've ever said that.
No, probably not. And, there's a few people out there that think it. But I also think that we also agree that there's a lot of programs out there that we do put these people in, whether it's diversion court. We just heard a great report on our diversion court with people that don't have driver's licenses. When I was a street cop working, it was always these people could never get ahead because we kept citing them and they kept driving for operating after revocation. Well, we have a new thing in Barron County where you can kind of skip the court system, go right to this diversion program. If you get your license back, they help reduce some of these other things. So it's been very, very effective.
That sounds nice. I like that.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of stuff that, while we like to see some harsher penalties, we're also fans of those programs like that diversion court that Judge Boyle is working on in Barron County here.
I know in Washburn County, the district attorney, Aaron Marco, is focused a lot on diversion stuff and treatment stuff. It's kind of a long game, right?
Right.
It's not something when you implement, you're going to see the results in 3 months. It could be probably more like 3 years to see how this is really working. And I think right now it's kind of a mixed review, but I like that idea. Obviously, certain people, nonviolent situations, whatnot. It's not like, all right, go to this class and learn how to not murder people, and then maybe we'll knock some things down. It's not for those.
Right.
But people do stupid things, and they're not mistakes. Let me be very, 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 very clear. Tired of when people say, "Oh, I just made a mistake." No, that was a choice. There's a big difference. You didn't accidentally drink and drive. You didn't accidentally, maybe speeding. That's a different thing. But most of these are not mistakes. It was a choice. So, be accountable for it. Take your punishment. But let's learn how to be better to get you back out and into the county, and be a functioning person and a happy person in the county. So I love that stuff. I absolutely love diversion programs and treatment stuff.
You just can't take them too far because every crime can't be a diversion program and things like that. So, but
I
you're
agree.
exactly right. Treatment is one of the things that we need to do better with.
100%.
And we do that a little bit, but sometimes the only place for treatment is prison. And so
sometimes
that's been some of my argument is prison is the only place where you have to get treatment. So
Amanda, I think that might be too much to put on the screen. Holy cow. Yeah. That's all right. I understand the keeping families together thing. However, with drunk driving, it's a clear choice. You weren't thinking of the family when you drove drunk, and you definitely weren't thinking of the family member. It's a choice. I agree, 100%. Easy to make. 100% agree.
Right into New Year's Eve there you go.
Yeah, perfect. So, New Year's Eve. This is our last topic before we do some bold predictions here. New Year's Eve coming up, obviously. We have, tell us about that. I think most New Year's Eves, you end up going out because that's one of the times that you play cop. So, I don't know if you're doing that again this year.
I'm doing it.
Is it Saturday night? Is that New Year's Eve?
Saturday night, too. Double dipper.
What are you looking, what are you expecting from a law enforcement standpoint?
I'm expecting a little bit more than normal because of the weather.
More what?
More people out because everybody was in this weekend because it was very cold. It's still not 100% warmed up yet, but if we really get 38 degrees on Friday and 36 on Saturday, and Dirk will give us that in just a second, I can see us having a bigger New Year's Eve. More people are going to say, you know what, I'm tired of being inside. I'm tired of being cold. We're going to go out. The roads will be good. It's a Saturday night anyway. So I'm expecting a bigger crowd than normal because it's not 0 degrees. Just like Christmas Eve, the night before, the 23rd and 24th, and people were like, I'm just not traveling. The roads aren't good. Yeah. It was cold. It was super cold, and we're ready to get out. If it's truly going to be 38 degrees, I'm expecting a big crowd. All we're saying today is go out, enjoy these dinners that these restaurants are putting on, support our local establishments, but have a plan. Get an exit strategy.
Have an exit strategy. Right. 100%. And Heather, right. Don't drink and drive. Now, just to be clear, don't drive drunk. It's perfectly fine. And everyone's whatever. I mean, you can go out. It's okay to go out and have a glass of wine or a couple of beers. I mean, that's normal. That's the reason that we have the, zero. Yeah. So, I mean, that's understandable. But if you already think, there's a very good chance it'll be more than I shouldn't get behind the wheel, then if you already know that, I saw a commercial, I thought of you, because I was just randomly thinking of Fitzy. It was a commercial, and it was somebody being dropped off or something at this bar. It was for, don't drink and drive, this holiday season or something. But that was great. Like, it wasn't, I drove to the place and then I called or had a plan on how to go home. It was actually, you don't even have to make the decision if someone just drops you off. Because now you're I don't have a car to drive home. I never thought about that.
Yep, that was that was a great plan. So
yep, right. Just think about it ahead, right? And again, it's not about just getting a ticket or potentially losing your license, and all those things, would be terrible. It's about, you could literally kill other people. And
we've got to do better than that. There should be zero. I mean, I think there's 6 people on the jail roster. I think 3 or 4 of them are OWIs, third or fourth. I mean, so we've got to do better. There's no reason on Christmas Eve that you get arrested for drunk driving.
All right, so 4 to 8 o'clock, 8 to 12 o'clock, midnight to 4. Those 3 times, I'm going to just assume that the most dangerous time to be on the road would be midnight to 4 in the morning. Would you agree with that, or is one more than the other, or are they all the same?
I think the busiest time on the roads,
in terms of drunk driving around, and there's people that are intoxicated driving, which block?
8 to midnight.
Really?
So, yeah.
Before New Year's Eve.
How long are you going to stay up till midnight?
It's been 15 years since I've stayed up on New Year's Eve to midnight.
Right. I'm going to call you at midnight and see what you're doing.
My phone will be on silent, so go right ahead. I won't answer. I won't even hear it.
You'll answer it. It'll be me.
Oh. Or maybe people bar hopping. That's a thing still. I don't know.
Well, I just think that the more people go out to eat, have a good time.
Oh, sure.
And everybody watches the ball drop in New York at 11, and they consider that midnight here. And so we see that. Now, some of the bars, the true people that are at bars, a lot of them have their own little drops at midnight or whatever it is here. So we'll see some of that. But the busiest traffic time is that 8 to even 1 a.m. because at 12:30, a lot of the bars were like, I made it till midnight, but I'm going home.
Now I'm going home to bed. Right.
So we see a lot of that, and we just need everybody to be safe this Saturday night. Beyond it being a regular Saturday night, everybody go out, patronize our bars, our restaurants. The Tavern League is a big supporter of law enforcement. They work with us on a lot of programs, including
we're not banging on bars here, right?
No,
at all. Totally not doing that. It's everyone knows what we're talking about,
right?
And for the people who are driving around that time and driving sober, just make sure you remember that there's going to be a lot of other people out on that road, and you don't know what they've had. So sometimes you have to be extra cautious for the other people who may not be super cautious. So just be careful this Saturday night.
Yep.
All right, cool. Anything else on New Year's Eve?
No.
Any messages?
I'm just reading Dirk's weather report.
Oh, shoot. I think I saw
the deep freeze. Most of the week will be dry. Clouds in the forecast.
Upper 30s.
Middle 30s, yeah.
Oh, middle 30s.
New Year's Eve might be a little snow, maybe. I don't want snow on New Year's Eve, so.
I agree. We had a drunk driver into our driveway, totaling 2 of our cars. I'm so glad I'm laughing because that's just crazy. And I'm assuming, otherwise I think Heather would have said something. Yeah. Nobody was in the cars. Yeah. I mean, jeepers, you got to be pretty drunk when you're plowing into parked cars in a driveway. I'm laughing. I shouldn't, but that's just stupid.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we have to laugh at some of this because it's dumb. It's so simple to solve. It should be 0. We shouldn't have 0.
It's the 100% controllable, you said, right?
Yep. It's the one crime that is 100% stoppable. We can stop them. So.
All right, let's get to our bowl predictions here and then wrap this up. So I have 3 bowls. Obviously, tonight is I think it's like at 9:15. So
yeah,
I'll be
awesome.
asleep by the time it starts.
No, why would the NCAA do that? I get it, but you should have your home time be 9:15 is the start of that bowl game. That shouldn't be allowed in the NCAA. You should be in the same time zone as the people, or move the game to a.
Well, it's in Arizona.
I understand, but have it start at 5 then. But that just doesn't make any sense at all. That it has to be on TV at 9:15 here. They've got to do a better job of that.
Well,
that's not fair to Wisconsin people. I'm writing a letter.
I was going to say, write a letter. It sounds like you're pretty passionate.
Is watching our show.
Yeah, we'll let him know.
Yeah.
So it's called the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, which I think we just start renaming all of these bowls. This one should be the Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy Guaranteed Rate Bowl presented by DrydenWire.com. That's what that one's going to be called. It's Wisconsin, who is 6-6, versus Oklahoma State, who's 7-5. Right now, the line is Wisconsin by 3.5, which I was a little surprised by that, to be perfectly honest. And the over-under is 45. So who do you have and over-under 45? Who do you have winning the game?
I think it's all about the money in television.
It's all about the money. See, and he would know. He's a CEO. It's always about the money.
That's possible. Well, he'll never come on the show again.
Well, good thing Dirk's coming on next week. That is one of our guests. All right, so what do you have? Who do you have winning? Wisconsin is favored 3.5 over Oklahoma State. Who do you have winning?
I think the most interesting headline is that Leonard's going to get the coach, and the new coach is going to take a back seat to Leonard for the game. But he did say, I'm going to have a headset on and call certain plays.
I know. This is a disaster. It's just like a divorce. And they're trying to figure this out. Like, well, I'll still kind of be, the dad in this part, but I'll still, and the stepdad, this is weird. It's going
to be really weird. It's going to be interesting to watch to see. I'm going to throw it deep. No, you're going to run it. No, I'm going to throw it deep.
Yeah. For me, it won't be interesting to watch it because I won't be watching. It's too late. So it'll be interesting to see the recap tomorrow morning on SportsCenter. So who do you have winning?
Wisconsin wins.
Okay.
I'll take the under.
And
under 45 points.
Under. I'm going Oklahoma State. I think Wisconsin is a train wreck. And because they're not going to score many points, I can see Oklahoma State putting up a whole bunch. But I'm also going to take the under.
Okay.
But I'll go Oklahoma. All right, then this Saturday night, so we'll only do two of these because it's the playoffs. So right. I don't know what VRBO, Fiesta, Verbo? What's Verbo?
That's the VRBO. That's the vacation rental place.
Never heard of it.
Oh,
well, no, that's right. It's the Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy Verbo Fiesta Bowl presented by DrydenWire.com. Hopefully NCAA isn't listening, so we'll probably get sued. That's a number 3 ranked TCU. They're 12-1 versus Michigan. That's your team outside of the Badgers. Michigan 13-0. The line right now is Michigan at 7.5, over under 58.5. Who do you have on that?
Michigan under. Easy.
Michigan under.
Yeah, they're not going to score that many points.
Well, Michigan's putting up a lot. TCU is a pretty high-octane team. I'll also go Michigan, but I'm going to go the over on that one, which I don't think they will. I don't want to pick the same as you. And then there's the the Positive Tuesday, Ben and Fitzy Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl presented by DrydenWire.com. Is number 4 Ohio State. They're 11-1 versus Georgia, 13-0. The line has Georgia at 6.5, over under 62.
Who do you got?
Georgia.
I'll take Ohio State then, just for fun.
Yeah, Georgia, Ohio State, and the over/under 62. 62 divided by 2, that's 31. So they both scored 31 points. Can I see Ohio State? They have a bad defense. Georgia's good. I'm going to go the under on that one.
I'm going to take the over. I was going to take the over anyway.
Okay, well, there we go.
And then Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan wins the big thing, the whole thing.
Oh, right, because you're not going to be on next week.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Michigan. Well, we'll have to. All right. So you'll have Michigan winning it all. So Michigan over Ohio State.
Michigan and Georgia.
I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I was going to do it next week.
It's not that hard.
Boy, Michigan. I've thought they were overrated all year. I'm going to go Georgia's going to win it back to back.
Oh, there you go.
Michigan wins it all.
See, Mike Schaefer's back on.
He said he was going to boycott us.
He's going to boycott. That was a long boycott, Mike. We appreciate it.
It lasted 4 minutes.
Way to hold on, Mike.
Yeah. All right. Coming up this week?
New Year's Eve. That's it. Only thing on the calendar right now. Pretty light week in the system. Obviously, we're going to work on our IT department over the next 2 weeks. When we come back on January 10th, we will have a brand new internet system here.
Okay. That'd be great. That's what we're doing. You're taking the wheel. And I'll be back next week. I'll contact Dirk so we can get him scheduled to come on. And there you go. Not much. I don't have a show this Thursday. So, New Year's Eve. I do want to quickly, it's the end of the year. We've done 48 shows this year. I want to say thank you to you, Fitzy, for always being available and coming on when you can. And the times that you're not able to come on, it's usually, work stuff, which is obviously more important than anything. But thanks for always coming on and doing this stuff and walking us through some of these cases and talking about the things that I think is important to talk about. Sometimes our conversations or our topics have to be heavy, but I think that's important. And you have always come on and been transparent and talked about it. There's never been a question that anyone's ever asked that you've never not answered. I appreciate that. I also thank you to all of the Amanda Williams and the Dirks and Mike Schaefer and
Dave Wilson
and Sharon and all the people that continue to sign in on Tuesday mornings and comment and give us positive vibes. It's been a great year, so thank you. I can't wait for next year. We'll kick off next year with Fitzy not on, so it'll be a good start to the show. Yeah, so no kidding. Thanks a lot for everyone, and thank you, Fitzy, for
Happy New Year to you.
For always coming on.
Blessed 2023 to everyone, safe and healthy, happy.
Love it. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With nearly 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and on the inside of your home or business. So give Brian a call today, 715-520-2271. Fitzy and I are wishing all of you a safe week and a happy new year. I'll be back next Tuesday, and it sounds like maybe Dirk Miller will be joining me as a guest for our first show of 2023. So until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.